Right guys, I probably should have done this from the get-go, but I've only kind of just realised. But I haven't actually done much, so it's okay. So all I've done is I've put the base of the frame together. Originally the frame came with these silly little screws. These strip out real easy, they're pretty crap, and that was in the bottom of the frame, so I've replaced them with these big bulky ones. And then on top of that, I'll just put this down for a second. Everything at the moment should come out. On top of that, what I've done is I've left these the same length as these ones, but then there's 4 here. I've put super long ones in out of the kit that you'll get. And then I've added little nuts on top as a spacer. So what that allows is for your flight controller. This is your flight controller. This is an all-in-one, well, it's kind of an all-in-one flight controller. It has power distribution built into it, as well as it being a flight controller. So normally what would happen is you would have a power distribution board on the bottom, a flight controller, and then you'll have your ESCs on the outside, which I'll show you soon. This one has your power distribution and your flight controller all in one. So this is your battery connector. This is an XT60, and that goes straight on to your flight controller. If we have a look at my one, just a bit of a mess, you can see in there there's 2 boards. There's the power distribution on the bottom and the flight controller on top. And then, don't mind my office, it's an absolute pigsty at the moment. This is your electronic speed controller. So this will go on here, this is your ESC. And it'll go on there. These wires will connect to this. These 3 here will connect to your motor. So what I've done is I've put your battery connector on. This here is a capacitor. So what this will do is this will hold a little bit of charge. When you spin your motors up and these draw a lot of power really quickly, instead of the battery having to try and keep up and you have bad video feed come through because the power's been drawn away and then everything else starts struggling, when you spin your motors up and then your battery doesn't keep up, this will pump what it's saved back into the system really quickly, try and keep everything running smooth. As soon as it's done its job, it will recharge. This here is your video transmitter. So as you can see, there's like 5 wires coming out of it. We only actually need to use 3 of them on this. See, there's the yellow, the red, and then there's a black one in here. So red and black are obviously your power, and then yellow is the is feed from the camera out through the video transmitter. Now, some setups you put the feed from the video camera and connect it straight to the video transmitter, so the yellow wire will go straight to. With this board here, it has an inbuilt OSD, which is an on-screen display, which you'll see when you've got your goggles on. It'll have information about your battery and that sort of thing. This thing feeds that, so the camera puts an image into your flight controller, the flight controller adds the on-screen display and then spits it back out your video transmitter, which then you'll see through your goggles. These 2 wires here that I've got sealed off, they're power wires. You can use those to actually power the camera. So realistically, this camera can be connected all directly straight to the video transmitter and not touch the board at all. But because we're using an on-screen display, we're going to just run it all through the flight controller. This one here that I'm adding on, I've got to put the negative on. This is for your receiver. So this thing here is what receives information from your controller. So your controller tells this what to do, goes through here to this, and then it flies basically. Another thing I've done is, because I always use these little cheap cameras, they go fine, I've had no problems with them, but they don't have any proper way of mounting as such. So you buy these little universal mounts, and then all I've done is I've just screwed it in from the bottom, so it should stay in. Otherwise, the likes of my ones are mine is zip tied on, bit of glue or double-sided foam tape underneath. So, but I'm really liking this frame. It's quite easy to work on. It's got some side plates that go in here, both sides, and then your top plate. And it's basically what your drone's going to look like. So I'm pretty excited to get this thing going. But yeah, I'll carry on working on it.